Hello guys and welcome to Python programming tutorials by Amul's Academy. Today in this tutorial we are discussing about the range and Xrange function in Python 2 and Python 3, and we'll see what is the difference between range and Xrange function. And as I said, we'll discuss about the range and Xrange function in both Python 2 as well as Python 3. So first we'll discuss about the Python 2. In Python 2, what is range function and Xrange function, okay? So in Python 2, this range and Xrange functions are used to generate sequence of numbers. So if you want to generate the number from 1 to 100 or 1 to 10, then you can use this range and Xrange function. And the keyword which is used for range function is range, okay? And for Xrange function is Xrange, okay? These are the keywords. Next we'll see the parameters. Both this function will take same parameter, that is first one is start, okay, second one is end, third one is step. Here start is the first value generated in the range. For example, if I want to generate the number from 1 to 10, then 1 is the start. This is the first value in that range, right? So start is the first value in the range. So the next parameter is end or stop. So this is the last integer value where you would stop the iteration process. And the step is nothing but the value by which each element is incremented. So we'll take examples so you'll understand better. Okay, so first we'll take range function. So the syntax is range, here start, end or stop, here step, okay? And here I need to mention the start, end and step. So if we want output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then here I need to mention start as 1 because I want the first integer as 1. So start is 1. So I need to mention the end as 6 because here I want output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here in the range function this end value is excluded. If I mention range as 1 to 6, then it will give output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because the end value is excluded. If I want output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then no need to mention this step because by default step value will be 1. So no need to mention the step here. So if I enter, we can see the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And next, if I want to generate the number from 0, then no need to mention the start value. That is nothing but, if I write range 6, so I want the output as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I'll mention range 6. Here 6 is nothing but the end value. Here I didn't mention the start value because here in the range function by default it will take start value as 0. Okay, so here if I mention this, then we can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here in the range function start and step parameters are optional. If you didn't mention the start value, by default it will take as 0. If you didn't mention the step, by default it will take step as 1. Okay, but you should mention the end value. So next, suppose if you want to change the step value, for example you want to print 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, okay, so you want to get output like this. So then you need to mention the start as 1 and end as 10 because I want output as 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, so the end value will be 10. And next I'll mention step as 2. I want each time the value to be incremented by 2. Okay, so next if I enter this, we can see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, and here we can see all the parameters should be in the integer form. That is, here we use 1, 6, 6 or 1, 10, 2. These are all integer numbers, right? So the parameter of the range function should be integer value, but it can be positive as well as negative. Here we can mention negative value also. For example, if I want to print minus 10 to minus 1. Okay, so if I enter here, we can see minus 10, minus 9, minus 8, like minus 2. Okay, this is the end value, and here the start value should be less than the end value. Okay, always the start value should be less than the end value. For example, if you mention the start value greater than the end value, here we can see start value is 60 and end value is 20. If you try this, we'll get the empty list. Okay, so this is about the range function in the Python 2. Okay, next we'll talk about the Xrange, and in Python 2, range and Xrange will both do the same work, that is it will generate the sequence of number. Here if instead of range, if I write Xrange, it will give same output. Okay, then what is the difference between range and Xrange, right? The difference is, so this range function will returns the list. For example, here I wrote range 1 to 6. Here we can see the output, that is a list. So the range function will returns list of numbers. But this Xrange function will returns generator object. For example, here if I write Xrange 1 to 6, okay, and I'll enter, and here we can see the output as Xrange 1 to 6. It will return a generator object. Here in the case of range, we can see it will generate the list of numbers. So to print the numbers in the Xrange function, we need to use looping. So here to get the output like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we need to use loop. Here if I use for loop in the Xrange 1 to 6, print I. So here we can see output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the main difference in the range and Xrange is the range function will returns the list, but the Xrange function will returns the generator object. And to display the numbers in the Xrange, we need to use looping. Here we don't want any loop, right? So it will directly print the output. Okay, so this is the first difference in the range and Xrange. And the second difference is the memory used by the range and Xrange are different. In the Xrange, it will take less memory space. In the range function, it will take more memory space. As in the range function, it will returns the list of numbers, and to store that each number, we need more memory space. But in the Xrange, it doesn't save any element in the memory. Okay, so if you want to check that, then you can do that by using sys module. First we need to import sys module, then print sys dot, I'll use get size of function. Okay, so here I'll use first range, so I'll take range of 100. Okay, now we'll check for the Xrange, get size of, here I'll take Xrange, enter. We can see 32. Here we can see the difference, right? Range function need more memory space compared to Xrange function. Okay, so the next difference is, so as I said, the range function will returns list of numbers, right? So we can apply the list operation to this range function. So there are different list operations, right? We already discussed about the list operation in this video series, so you can go and check that. So we can apply all the operations of list to this range function, but where in the case of Xrange, we can't apply any list operation. So if you want to see that, so here we can see, here we applied slicing for the range function, and here we got the output. So if so I tried the same for the Xrange, so here we got the error. Okay, so this is the next difference. So next last difference is the running of Xrange is slower as compared to the range function. Okay, the running of Xrange is slower compared to the range function because in the Xrange function it evaluates the value of the element during each iteration. So Xrange function is also called as lazy evaluation. So the range function is faster compared to the Xrange function. Okay, so these are the difference between range and Xrange function in Python 2. Okay, so if you want to sum it up, so we can write the difference like this. First one is it will return list, okay, but Xrange function will returns the generator object, and to print the numbers in this Xrange we need to use loop, but here we don't want that. Okay, second one is range function need more memory space, but Xrange function need less memory space. And the third difference is we can use list operation in the range function. We can apply list operation on this range function, but here we can't apply list operation on this Xrange function. Next, this range function is more faster than the Xrange function. Okay, so running of range function is faster compared to Xrange function. So these are the difference in range and Xrange function in Python 2. So next we'll discuss about the Python 3. In Python 3 there is no Xrange function. There is only one function, that is range function. But the range function in Python 3 behaves like the Xrange function in the Python 2. So as we know, in Python 2 this Xrange function will take very less memory, right, compared to range function. Even though Xrange function will take more time to run compared to range function, but the impact is very negligible. So in Python 3 there is no range function, and this Xrange function is renamed as range function, and in Python 3 we use Xrange function in the name range function. Okay, Xrange function of Python 2 is same to the range function in Python 3. Okay, this Xrange function is renamed in Python 3 as range function, and this Python 2 range function is not available in Python 3. Okay, so here we can see we are using Python 3.5.1. so now if I try range as 1 to 6, here we can see we are not getting list of numbers. Here we got the output same as the Xrange in Python 2. Okay, so if I want to check type of this range function here, so range from 6. Okay, so here we can see this is belong to the class range. Okay, here in the Python 3.5, here we can see this range function will belong to class range. Well, in the Python 2.7, if we check type of range function, first I'll check the range function. Okay, this range type is list. In the Python 2 the type of range is list, where in the case of Xrange, here we can see type is Xrange. Okay, so here we can see the difference. In the Python 2 type of range is list, type of Xrange is Xrange only. Okay, so in Python 3 class range, it belongs to class range. Okay, so this is about the difference between range and Xrange function in Python 2 and Python 3. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll meet you in next class. Till then, take care.